Let's talk about this. Come on, man. Let's go. 3-6 motherfucking Mafia, man. All day. You just got them joints, man. Wait for it. Drink down. Oh, that shit gonna kick in. Imagine this shit loud. Hey, let's go. Yeah, this is not gonna be close, man. 3-6 gonna take this. Let's just start with even Project Pat on his own. Project Pat on his own, like I've said, you know, again, this is what I think is interesting. Like I said, the internet is recycle.com. For those of y'all who've been following me before I even got, started really doing these videos regularly like that, I was on forums, and I remember telling people on forums that Mr. Don't Play was one of the best Southern rap albums I'd ever heard. This is, again, before people were really even talking about this. Now, of course, that's kind of a thing, obviously everyone talks about it. And pretends like they were up on it when they weren't. They really weren't. And look, listen, I didn't hear Mr. Don't Play until pretty recently, you know what I mean? I think I heard it the first time maybe in 2014 or something like that. And I remember like, oh, this should go. Like, again, it was kind of that Rocky thing because I was so blown away by that ASAP, Pretty Flocko, all that I just started digging again, especially with 3-6. And I was like, it made me catch up on 3-6, who I initially never liked, but that was because I was hearing mostly their poppy stuff. I wasn't really hearing their strong cuts, you know what I'm saying? The underground shit. Anyway, the point is this. I think that Project Pat alone can wash a bone. So obviously 3-6 Mafia is gonna kill them. If assuming they play the Project Pat stuff, the Juicy J stuff. Chicken Head alone is better than anything Bone ever came up with. You know what I'm saying? And what are Bone Thugs? How are they gonna respond to that record? With what? What do they have? Bone Thugs and Harmony were cute for the time. The rapping Boys II Men. They were popular at their time. I remember. I had their CD. I had that Art of War CD. But Bone Thugs and Harmony were trash. Let's be honest here. They were mumble rap before mumble rap. I liked them as a kid, like, when I was in my early teens. I liked some of their stuff, sure. But as, very quickly I was like, oh, these guys are not very good. Then, of course, they were very popular. Like I said, they were huge on Billboard and all that stuff. And they were the boy band rappers, in my opinion. Boy group. They were very poppy, in a sense, you know what I mean? They always had those R&B-esque, choruses and slow, sluggish, soft, ballad-ass shit that, like, was popular in the 90s. So, yes, they were the bigger group. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Just because you were a bigger group at the time doesn't mean anything, because you were a bigger group among casuals. Now, Bone struggle for respect. They struggle to be mentioned. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they probably have a, select devoted fans here and there, but in general, the rap game is way more interested in what 3-6 Mafia brought to the table and what they continue to bring to the table than Bone Thugs and Harmony. Let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So I expect 3-6 Mafia to wash Bone. Now, they are going to be taking, this whole Verzuz thing in California and LA, I think. Hard to say what that crowd is because it's not like a New York crowd where New Yorkers tend to keep it real. So, if your shit ain't up to par musically, New Yorkers will let you know. But I don't know how it is in Cali. I'm not sure if people in Cali are more pop oriented. I think they are to a certain extent. But again, I don't know whether or not Bone really had such a stranglehold in Cali to this day where there's all these Bone fans that are going to come out. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. But I will say this, though. 3-6 Mafia have way better songs than those guys, and their songs, the good ones, because 3-6 Mafia have a lot of boring, redundant songs. But the 3-6 Mafia songs that are dope are way doper than just about anything Bone ever recorded. The only Bone song that I think I actually kind of still like to a certain extent is Look Into My Eyes, and I loved that song back then. That song held up on some level, for sure. But again, I don't listen to that song. There's never a time when I'm like, yo, let me listen to Bone Thugs, ever. and I listen to rap 24/7 all the damn time. So yeah, I think Bone Thugs are kind of corny, to be honest with you, looking back. And this is why, in a way, I was so blown away when ASAP, came out the scene and was sort of like obviously inspired by them and took some of their flow, because it was like, can you imagine somebody like ASAP and Yams, who are amazing taste makers, and they take something that, in my opinion, is corny, and like, look, Bone Thugs had a decent idea, like that kind of melodic style of rapping, in a way, sing-songy, whatever, mumbly, but they just didn't execute it well. And here comes ASAP, who looks at something that Bone Thugs do, Bone Thugs being, in my opinion, 5% dope, 95% whack. And Rocky takes the 5% that's dope and leaves the 95% that's whack. I gotta give him credit, because that shit was pretty mind-blowing to me, man. It was like, yeah, when I first heard it, and it's been like Bone, it was like, yeah, this does sound like Bone Thugs and Harmony, but way better. Way better. Those guys, in my opinion, were just never that dope, man. They had like the Wars versus, like, you look at the song they did with Big smoked them early. I don't think anyone even remembers anything, that Bone Thugs said on that song, period, after Biggie spit. The song with Pac was cool, but again, we remember it for Pac and the gunshots. I don't remember anything Bone ever said on that song. So again, not a fan, and I don't think their shit has aged well at all. And I think that's grounds for getting washed. But hey, you never know, man. 3 6 Mafia maybe don't play the right stuff, or it's like a super Mexican crowd or something. I don't know. Like, and Bone have the advantage. I don't know. I don't know Cali well enough for me to give a definite stamp. But I do think that in my gut tells me that Bone is gonna get washed. Well, we'll see. But it'll be an interesting battle in that regard. Again, like I said, these guys were some of the biggest rappers on the planet in the 90s. I'll give them that. For like a good 2 years or so, they were huge. But that's how it is. The R&B-ish, poppy sound stuff is, it's corny. Like it was hot at the time for the casuals and the mainstream audience, but like I don't think heads were really loving it like that. Like Meet Me at the Crossroads, I mean, that shit is not for me. So there's my opinion. The 3 6 Mafia production style obviously has gone on to influence this entire era. So yeah, I mean, it's not even that close, in my opinion. 3 6 Mafia are the way better musical act, and I think that in general, when it comes to verses, it's about it's a catalog battle, like I've said. So who has made the better music that Father Time like remembers and gives a shit about? And that's 3 6 Mafia to me, a long way, hands down, by far. All right, let me know what you think. If there's a Bone Thugs and Harmony album that you love, am I sleeping on Bone Thugs and Harmony? Am I hating, all that shit, whatever. Let me know, because I try to listen to For the Love of Money and Thuggish Ruggish Bone again, and I was just like, And in general, if I'm out somewhere, and I only really hear this at certain, like, hipster spots, whatever, they play that shit, I'm out the door. That shit sucks, man.